KMG. Local 6 News starts right now.
Breaking news this morning, a major search happening right now for a robber deputies call dangerous and brazen.
He puts her in a headlock while demanding the money and threatening her with her life and saying that he has a handgun.
He got away, but not without being caught on camera. We are live with the one picture deputies are working with right now to track this man down. Plus, wild weather strikes South Florida, leaving behind a mess this morning. In 15 minutes, video of a funnel cloud's powerful punch not far from an airport. And a turtle with a missing flipper navigates his way to a hospital at 5:25 this morning, while rescuers say he's not the first reptile patient to check himself in.
What?
Good Friday morning to you. It is now 5 a.m. I'm Erik Sandoval. What a difference a day makes. We are in for a really nice weekend, thank goodness. Let's take a live look outside at Orlando on our Bright House City Cam in high definition. No rain, and that's what we like to see so far. Meteorologist Troy Bridges joins us now with what we hope is a sunny forecast for the weekend.
It will be. We're going to see a lot of sun through the day, starting off with some clouds this morning, but those clouds are, as we speak, pushing out altogether. We had some rain. We had the big storms yesterday. None of that to deal with today or through the weekend. Let's get you out there and show you the radar. As we scan the skies, all that rain is pushed out, but a few lingering showers this morning, even as the sunrise comes up. You'll notice that. But notice temperatures, cooler, drier air working in. We're talking about 60s, flirting with the 50s in some of our northern counties at 61 in Ocala. Likely to drop a little bit from here, so I wouldn't be surprised if we're in the upper 50s within the next couple of hours there in central Marion County and northern Marion County. Gainesville at 58 right now. We're at 70 in Orlando, 73 degrees at Cocoa Beach, Melbourne at 71. Helping you plan the day, look at these temperatures a little bit below the average. The average high near 90 in most spots. We're getting up to 77 at noon, 83 at 4 o'clock, and by 6 this evening we're at 80 degrees. It will be windy today, but there's no rain. We'll see plenty of sun coming up. We'll take you through the rest of the weekend because I know you're making some plans. But first, let's check on the roads with Nicole Pasecki. Nicole, what are you tracking this morning?
Yeah, good morning. Unfortunately, starting off your Friday morning with some issues out there on the roadways. Let's tell you about the first crash over on South Orange Blossom Trail at West Miller Street. This one has some road blockage in the northbound lanes of Orange Blossom Trail. You can always use South Rio Grande Avenue as your alternate if you're headed through that area this morning. Not causing too much of a headache for drivers this morning. Let's take a look at the turnpike. This is actually I-4 just west of the Florida Turnpike, and you can see it is smooth sailing in both directions here of I-4. Also turnpike, smooth sailing there. You're up to speed on the turnpike. No slowdowns, no problems for you on the Florida Turnpike this morning, so that is good news. Taking a look when we come back in 10 minutes, we will have the very latest on the roads in Seminole County. Erik.
All right, thanks a lot, Nicole. We're following breaking news in Orlando this morning. Deputies say they want to find a crook they say stormed a local 7-Eleven, jumped over the counter, and wrapped his hands around the neck of a woman working inside. This is really some scary moments for this clerk at the 7-Eleven on McCoy Road, that is near the beach line and South Orange Avenue. Local 6 Morning News reporter Amaka Obaka is there live for us this morning. Amaka, how's this clerk doing this morning?
Well, Erik, I just spoke with her. She is still here, and remarkably, she's working right now. She tells me this whole ordeal was very quick and scary. The man that attacked her walked into this 7-Eleven without any gloves or a mask on. This violent robber is still on the loose, but deputies are hoping to find him. We do have his picture. Let's go ahead and take a look at that now. Deputies say this man went into the 7-Eleven wearing a trench coat and selected items from the store. As he approached the counter, deputies say he became violent towards the female clerk. He hopped the front counter, grabbed her from behind, and put her in a chokehold while demanding cash. He told her he had a gun and threatened her life before taking the money and leaving the store. Deputies say they are working hard to find this guy.
It is very unusual. These type of people that actually will put their hands on these people and put them in a headlock and drag them around while trying to get the money has no concern whatsoever for the person's well-being.
Now here's another look at that surveillance photo. Deputies say the man is in his 40s. He's thin, he's about 6 feet 2 inches tall, and he has salt and pepper colored hair. Now back out here live, it's not clear if the robber actually had a gun, but he implied he had a gun to the clerk. Deputies say that the robber actually got away in a car that was parked behind this 7-Eleven. Erik?
Well, Maka, do deputies have a description of what that car looked like?
Right now, deputies don't have a description of the car. They say they do have good evidence, and they're working to release that surveillance video to the public so they can catch this robber. Eric.
All right, Amako Baca live for us in Orange County. Thank you. More news developing overnight to tell you about. Deputies released new surveillance pictures of two men that they say stormed an Orange County business and opened fire. Now, these guys managed to get away after the owner pulled out his own weapon and shot back. The attack happened at the African store on Orange Blossom Trail. Local 6 photojournalist Mark Lehman joins us with the new pictures and the latest on the manhunt.
Well, the two men definitely got more than they expected when the owner of this shop turned the tables. Now we're getting our first look at the two suspected robbers who themselves were sent running for their lives. Here are the images just released from the sheriff's office overnight. In them, you can see the two masked men as they enter the store off OBT. Once inside, deputies say the suspects pistol whipped someone and fired at least one shot. That's when the owner jumped into action.
The guy pulled the gun over, they shooting me. As soon as they shoot, I have my gun here, I respond to them.
That moment also captured in these images. You can see the two men running right back out the front door. One of the suspects still holding a gun in his right hand. This morning, the owner says he's determined to fight for his business.
Doesn't matter who you are. I'm sending a message to the bad guy and of my customer. No one can stop me to open this business. I'm going to open every day 9 to 9, God willing.
Now, the owner goes on to say that this is the second time he's been robbed in just the past 2 weeks. Deputies are asking anyone who recognizes the men in the images to contact the sheriff's office. Eric?
All right, Mark, thank you so much. Well, this morning, neighbors believe that just a fence saved a family's home from this wild car crash you see here. They tell Local 6 that they heard what sounded like an explosion outside and found the car flipped over right in their front yard. Now, all of this happened yesterday on the 2000 block of Fern Creek Avenue in Orlando. Now, you can see in this video here that the car was wedged against the fence just feet from this home. We're told a woman and passenger inside the other truck were taken to the hospital. They're expected to be okay. Neighbors say they're thankful that nobody was hurt, but they wish people would just slow down.
Well, it's the second time this has happened in under a year, so I'm a little concerned. I wish people would be a little more courteous.
Crews were able to clean up the scene pretty quickly. Neighbors say that the fence was just fixed and they're going to need to repair the thing all over again now. In just hours, mission managers will try yet again to launch a Delta IV rocket into orbit along the Space Coast. Now, we checked and the chances are looking a lot better for tonight's liftoff after bad weather scrubbed last night's launch. A mix of rain, gusty winds, and lightning caused crews to hold off taking a new GPS satellite into orbit. There is a 90% chance of good weather today when that launch window opens at 8:03 this evening. Of course, we will keep you posted if anything changes. And when that launch happens, you will see it live on our website, clickorlando.com. This morning, a Brevard County woman is recovering after a shark bit her right calf at a Melbourne beach. Local 6 spoke to family members who say it happened when the 38-year-old was in the water off Ponce de Leon Landing. Now, there are no lifeguards there, so her brother and others nearby actually had to help her out of the water. She's expected to be okay. We still do not know what kind of shark bit her. In just hours now, former UCF star quarterback Blake Bortles will take center stage in Jacksonville. The Oviedo native is set to make his practice debut with the Jags at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Today, all rookies will start a 2-day minicamp. It is open to the public, but you have to register for it. We'll post how to do that on clickorlando.com. Just look under Scene on 6 this morning. Well, today, drones, no bigger than the size of your hand, will soar out of the Orange County Convention Center. An unmanned vehicles conference and trade show wraps up there today. It's closed to the public, but Local 6 actually got inside to take a look there. A lot of neat technology is on display. For example, one drone is equipped with turbojet engines. Now to something a little bit faster than a turbo engine, X-Wing fighters are moving here into Central Florida, right along with Jar Jar Binks and Chewbacca. Today's Star Wars weekend kicks off over at Walt Disney World. Here's a look at last year's star-studded event. The event is running for 5 weekends through June 15th, and as they say, may the Force be with you. Time now, 5:08 on your Friday. Let's check back in with meteorologist Troy Bridges and Nicole Pasecki. What a difference a day makes, huh, guys?
Yeah, we had a ton of rain last night, even some strong winds, tornado warnings. That stuff is over with. Now we can expect some great weather as we head into the weekend. And so far this morning,
so far so
no
good.
big issues.
Well, actually, no, we do have a crash on I-4.
Okay, well, one crash. I'm sure we'll talk more about that
for a second.
straight ahead. But you know what? We're tracking rain that we were seeing yesterday that has moved out, and here are those totals you can expect as you check them out from yesterday. More than 2 inches in Orlando, but some parts of Brevard County saw up near 5 inches of rain. So a lot came down yesterday very quickly. Today, a different story as all of that moves out. You can see the trend here as it continues to push off to the east as that front clears out. We're going to be seeing skies clearing, a few clouds to start this morning, but a lot of sunshine to enjoy through the day. Orlando at 70 right now. We're at 71 in Melbourne. Ocala starting off now at 59, so a little cool in Marion County. You may want a light jacket as that drier air is working in. The normal high is 88. We're only going to make it to 83 today with a lot of sun. We're at 86 on Saturday, 88 on Sunday, and 89 on Monday. What about rain chances? Will we see any more of those storms rolling in? Coming up, we'll talk about whether to expect that. Right now, though, let's check on the roads and head back to Nicole.
All right, good morning and happy Friday, too. Unfortunately, we're starting off with a crash this morning on I-4. It's going to be throughout the downtown Orlando area. I-4 eastbound at Parr Street. You are losing the right lane here in this area because of that crash, but because it's so light out there on the interstates this morning, we're not seeing a whole lot of trouble associated with this. Going to be a little bit slow approaching this. We're seeing some folks put on their brake lights just for the flashing lights here. But once you get by it, and if you just stay left, you're good to go, again, because that right lane is blocked, and you do have a semi involved in this crash here. So we'll let you know once this clears as it gets a little busier. That could definitely become a trouble spot this morning as you make your way out and about. I-4 at Lake Mary Boulevard over in Seminole County. No issues for you if you're headed through Seminole County this morning on I-4. Looking good in both directions here again throughout the Lake Mary area this morning. No problems for you. Coming up in 10 minutes when I return, we will have a look at your drive times if you're headed on the 408 this morning. Eric.
All right, Nicole, thank you. About 11 minutes after 5 now. Downtown Orlando turning soccer into a work of art this morning. Still ahead, an inside look at how our soon-to-be pro team is drawing up a lot of attention. Plus, a sea turtle struggles to survive after he's left with no flipper and wrapped in a fishing net.
Usually patients come to the turtle hospital in the turtle ambulance. This patient seemingly checked himself in.
Yeah, you heard right there. Florida rescuers didn't have to go far to find him. And get this, he's not the only turtle to navigate his way for help there. But first, video of a funnel cloud that swept across South Florida yesterday. In 3 minutes, hear from the witness who captured all of this unfold, plus another picture taken of an airport worker's extremely close call. You're watching the Local 6 Morning News this Friday, covering Orlando, Ormond Beach, and all of Central Florida. We'll be right back.